Classes are a logical collection of a design object such as nets, components, or polygons. This is typically done to allow easy creation of a targeted design rule. This means that we can apply a specific rule to a specific set of objects. When a PCB is updated from the project for the first time, a number of classes are automatically generated. We can view these classes in the PCB using the Object Class Explorer. This Class Explorer acts as a central location for all classes, but managing your class is much easier, thus saving you time. The automatic classes are those with the angle brackets. We can add, delete, or rename classes within this Class Explorer. Automatic classes can be changed in the project options under the Class Generation tab. You can decide if you want to include automatically generated classes, and you can also decide to simply include user-defined classes. Classes can be generated in either the schematic or the PCB. In the schematic, the classes can be generated by placing directives. We can select an individual net by placing the net class directive, where we can then create our own class for that net. If you desire to create a net class from a set of selected components or a section of circuitry, we could then use a blanket. The blanket directive is a powerful feature in Altium Designer's schematic editing domain. It can quickly be applied to a group of nets simply by covering those nets with a blanket. When placing a blanket, you can either define a simple rectangular shape or a polygon shape. This gives more precise control over coverage of the required net objects on a sheet. We can also ensure that a set of nets is assigned a specific PCB rule. This is achieved by placing a directive from the schematic as well. We can configure the rule through the priorities of the directive in the schematic, and it is now ready to be pushed to the PCB. Once we're comfortable with our classes and rules defined in the schematic, we can then push these to the PCB through the engineering change order. This seamless transition to the layout will ensure no data is lost between design environments. These new classes will now be present in the PCB. We can view these classes using the PCB panel. This shows all classes and all nets or components that are associated to it. If we want to add a class from the PCB, we can do this using the Object Class Explorer. Having the ability to set up classes in the PCB gives us the control. We can choose which nets or components we want from the non-members column to be added into the members column, which would be the objects included in that class. Since many companies outsource their PCB design, having multiple ways to set and manage classes from the schematic will ensure we can hand off our design to the PCB layout designer, knowing that they will have all the information needed to lay out the board with its proper requirements.